Before we get started, a special thank you to Patreon supporter Lino Hernandez.
It's Mishra's Genuine Draft.
And welcome to another Mishra's Genuine Draft here at Magic Untapped. I must apologize for the audio quality this time around. My normal headset is on the fritz and I am having to use an old backup, so hopefully things go just fine. Anyway, it's time for some Jumpstart, so let's just start this right up. We'll start by choosing our packets. On Jumpstart is a semi-sealed sort of a format where you pick two 20-card packs. We're going to start with the Teferi pack for our first pack.
If you show remorse,
and then you combine it with the second pack. I'm actually thinking Teferi plus Reanimated could be fun. And we're going to make a Teferi Reanimated sealed deck. And take a look at what's in the deck here. One drop, we have an Opt, or two drops, we have a Sage Row Savant, Beldian Arcanist, Eliminate, Miasmic Mummy, Mire Triton, Zombie Infestation, Exclude, Teferi's Protege, Teferi's Tutelage, Crow of Dark Tidings, Funeral Rites, Woe Strider, Leave in the Dust, Tarlan's Invocation, Makes and Drakes. I do get the new Planeswalker Teferi Master of Time, and that's pretty freaking awesome. Teferi's Ageless Insight. Now on paper, this would be Rhystic Study, for those keeping notes. Crypt Lurker, Prescient Chimera, Bond of Revival. This, on paper, I believe would be Reanimate, or Exhume, one or the other. Rise Again, Tolorian Kraken, Gormand, a Gravewalker, a Pretty Island, a Thriving Island, or Isle, which is pretty cool. It's a semi-customizable dual land. Comes into play blue, but then I can also pick its second color. Swamp, and then Thriving Moor, same thing as a Thriving Island, just instead of blue, it is black. Now, is it just me, or do I only have one island that's 7 swamp? That doesn't make too much sense. But I guess we'll figure it out when we play the first game. And game 1 for this special Jumpstart edition of Mishra's Genuine Draft. We do have the concern of the deck only giving me one island despite having 2 drops here. But let's see what I have here. I'm starting with 2 swamps, a bunch of blue, high cost black. I got a free mulligan. I'm going to take it. Okay, good. I do have multiple islands. That's nice to see. Thriving Moor. I have a Kill Spell, 2 drops, 3 drops. We're going to keep that. That looks a lot better. And being that I do not have a turn 1 play, I'm just going to play a Thriving Moor. And I'm going to go ahead and name blue. And opponent. Where is my opponent? Mold on Mold. Mold and Mold? Mold on Mold? Not sure. They play a Grim Lavamancer, a great reprint. It's about to be dead, but it is a great reprint. I do like that card. It was a favorite of mine in Legacy a number of years ago. I've eliminated the Grim Lavamancer, and it's moving on to the opponent's turn. He drops down a plane, so he's dropping down Boros, and he has an Ashmouth Hound, which is a 2/1, that whenever it gets blocked, it deals 1 damage to the creature that's blocking it. Cool, let's just drop down an island here. I do have a 2/1 with Death Touch. I will gain 2 life when it dies, or when it comes into play, but I will also mill a bit. The Woe Strider can block and kill that, but the Hound will kill the Woe Strider as well. So I think I'm just going to do the Savant. I'm going to scry my 2. I have another Swamp, and I have Exclude. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and move the Exclude. Nope. Put it there, draw the Swamp next turn, and perhaps even play the Fairy Master of Time next turn. I kind of like that. Opponent drops down a mountain, attacks. I'm going to go ahead and just not trade, because it's when it becomes blocked. So no blocks. There would be no trading. And opponent drops down a Mono Geo, a little color fixing in, a Scry. Let's try that down. I go ahead and pick up a swamp here. I can pick up the Fairy Master of Time, which is cool because I can do the draw discard thing, and I can do it on both turns, which would be neat. However, I'm thinking I might want to instead, do the Mummy instead? I can almost afford that. It's 4 of the cards there. I think what I do is I just go ahead and play Teferi right now. And I'll go ahead and do my draw and discard.
Let's make this quick.
And we'll go ahead and discard the Mire Triton. And I'm going to go ahead and, do I say no attacks and just lose my Savant, or do I get in for 2? I think I get in for 2. And there we go. 18 to 18 right now. Opponent, Mold on Mold. Get another land here. They might be missing their land drop. That could help me a bit. Of course, they do have, no, they got their land drop, and they have the Geo, so they're doing perfectly fine. They have their bluff, which they've called White, of course, and they're going to bring out a Bloodrock Cyclops with a 3/3 that attacks each turn if able. Not too bad for a red and 2. Too bad I could not counter that. They're, of course, attacking with my Teferi. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card and discard a card in their turn. There is the extra land I need for the Woe Strider to come back, so... Actually, I think I drop out the Massive Mummy. I'm not a fan of that overall there. I get the Insight, which is cool, because then I can draw 2 instead of 1, but I think what I might want to do right now instead is go ahead and bring out the Woe Strider. That does not leave me enough for Exclude, which is unfortunate, but I'm just going to have to roll with it. Then you're good to go. So yeah, I mean, at least there's that, right? I can sacrifice creatures to Scry, which is cool. We're going to go ahead and draw and discard here. And I get an Opt. That's neat. I'm going to have to discard my Exclude. It's too bad. And we're just going to go ahead and pass the turn. An opponent passes straight to attackers. Everyone at the Teferi, of course. Let's see, we're going to go ahead and pass the blockers. We're going to go ahead and block there. We are going to go ahead and... Do I block there? No, you know what? We're going to go ahead and block there. We're going to go ahead and block there. Go to damage, that triggers that, which I'm going to go ahead and use that to sack my Savant. So I can scry 1 here. Let's see what I might draw. It's something I might want. I get a Protege, which I'm not entirely thrilled about. So we're going to knock that down. That's going to resolve and do absolutely nothing. The Cyclops and the Strider are likely going to trade, barring any tricks. Are there any tricks? I think he has a trick. Huh, they have a trick. I don't know who it is. There's a Magma Quake, 2 damage to each creature without flying and each Planeswalker. Well, isn't that freaking fun? I guess I don't want to trade in the Cyclops, so let's go ahead and take the fairies, draw 1, discard 1. What do I discard? I guess I discard the Bond Revival. And we'll go ahead and resolve that now.
Now wait just a minute.
Now wait just a minute. But at least my Roast Rider is back out there. So we'll go and pass the damage, which does nothing. Off at the end of the turn. Let's see what we got here. We have the Gormond. But I need to be able to sacrifice a creature to play him. Well, that's awkward, but I like it. We're going to go ahead and just keep it. So there's that. I do get an island, another one of my pretty islands. That's something I can easily toss to Teferi. who's going to take a little bit of a beating if I don't get a blocker out there. So I don't know if paying the Ancients Inside right now is the best of plans. If I did that, it would leave me with only 1 mana open, although I could bring up the Woe Strider as a 5/4, and I think that's what I'm going to do. We are going to go ahead and get rid of that, get rid of these non-creatures here, submit that, make a lot of noise, and here comes the Woe Strider. Very good. I have my 5/4 and I have a goat. Let's go ahead and draw a card and discard a card here. I get a Crow of Dark Titan. It's a 2/1 flyer where I mill. Not crazy about that either, so we're going to go ahead and toss that out. Play the island. Ideally, I can play the Gorman next turn and sacrifice the goat to it. So let's go combat and end turn. And opponent, still sitting there at 18 life, playing a Plains. They have that 3/3 must attack each turn if possible. And here they are attacking. Yep, attacking Teferi. Because I want to have the goat for the Gormand, I will go ahead and block with the Woe Strider. Hopefully no tricks. Looks like they do have a trick. Nice. Okay. So we are going to trade here the Woe Strider for the Cyclops. Thankfully I can bring it back out, I believe, because I need 4 and I have 5 in there right now. So that's... Oh, I forgot to draw and discard. That's my bad. There's a swamp I don't really need, so let's just go ahead and do the draw and discard now. I get the Invocation, which is kind of neat, so we're going to go ahead and discard that swamp. And I'm going to throw out my Gormand. Actually, do I? Because each opponent sacrifices creature as well, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to bring out the Ageless Insight instead. I should have done that first, now that I think about it. And as far as he knows, I just drew it. We're going to go no attacks. And move on to the opponent's turn. They're going to raise the alarm, create 2 1/1 soldier token creatures. That's cool. And opponent draws and does something. Now with the Gormand, I'm probably just going to sack one of their 1/1 tokens, which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and do our draw. Of course, we're going to draw bonus cards this time. I get an Arcanist and an island. I'm going to discard the island. And I'm going to say no blocks. Fire's going to go ahead and take a couple there.
Slow down!
Slow down! And we get a Steed. So they got the Unicorn pack. So now they're starting to get a bit of a board state here. So that's going to take... Is that going to take all my land? It's going to take all my land. They're probably going to sack a 1/1, but at least then I get a 5/5 out. Teferi's going to take a bit of a beating if I do that, however. Whereas the Invocation, at least I get 2 Drakes, and I can do a little extra blocking that way. I think that is the way I'm going to go. So, actually, let's go ahead and see what else I can draw here. Boom, boom. We're going to knock that out. What does this do? I may sacrifice creature if I do draw a card. That could be helpful, too. Go 2, or do I just go 1 and 1, but then I get to draw extra cards? How's my deck looking? I'm down to 15 cards in my deck, unfortunately. So we are going to go ahead and do an Invocation here. Drop out a couple creatures. I'm going to go ahead and drop out another. Just get some defenses back up. And my opponent scoops. They did not like the Flyers. Good game. And part 2 of this special Jumpstart edition of Mr. Genuine Draft is we tried to get to win number 2 of 2. And we're starting out here with both colors of land in an all-blue hand. And yet, I think I might keep it because I like having the Exclude, and the Savant with the Scry might be nice. We're just going to go ahead and keep that. I only have one 1-drop playing the entire deck anyway, and that would be Opt, which would just be a card draw spell as it is. Opponent drops a Phyrexian Tower. That's cool. Now I know I have to deal with some Phyrexians, and that is going to be a pain. Anyway, opponent, Zephyia. We drop a second swamp and nothing else. That's neat. I have an island. I keep drawing swamps here, so if I see any more lands, they're going to get scoured away immediately. And I do not have more lands. Actually, I kind of like this, having the Arcanist followed up by an Opt. I don't mind that. Actually, I think I'd rather have the Opt first, in case I have nothing to exclude. I can then Opt at the end of the turn. So we're done there, and moving on to the opponent's turn. Maybe. There we go. And opponent. Throwing down a swamp. So far, it makes me wonder if they went double black. And, well, so much for that there. I'm going to throw down a swamp of my own. I'm going to go to my next combat. And I'm just going to go ahead and get in there for 2. That's sacrifice a creature. Yes, it is. That's sack a creature for 2 black. So, let's tap for colorless. So it's not like it's completely useless without creatures in play. You just can't use it for 3 black. Anyway, opponent. They're obviously considering what to do. They're going to pass to attackers and run in my turn. So I'm just going to go ahead and opt now. I will opt to opt. I will go ahead and draw the Arcanist. Obviously, I knew it was coming. Happy to have that in my hand. And moving on to Teferi's Protege. Alright, I do have a 2-drop. Unfortunately, it's blue, and I want to keep the mana open for Exclude. So we're just going to go ahead and move on and get in there for another 2. Obviously counting my lands. And they're going to go ahead and eliminate my my 2-1. You know what? He has had his usefulness. I am fine with that. I got my scry in, got a couple damage in, that's good. They actually are running 2 color as well, blue and black. As they bring in the Sigil Starfish that lets them scry, and that does not scare me one bit. They can scry to their heart's content. I am getting concerned though that I only have 1 blue source, and that might prove to be a problem, especially because I want to keep that open for anything large they might have early that I would like to just up and take care of. So we're going to go ahead and pass the turn there. Go figure now I'm hoping to see a land. An island specifically, or a blue source of some sort. Anyway, opponent, sitting there pretty with their Sigil Starfish. Scry 1. Not Defender, they can attack. Starfish can move. They're actually kind of weird to watch them walk around. If you ever watched that in a nature documentary or something on Discovery or what have you. National Geographic. So they're scrying. They scry 1 to the bottom. And they're pulling out a Crypt Lurker, which will let them go ahead and draw a card, but I don't want them to have a 3-4. Probably bigger threats in there, but at least I can prevent that from happening, draw a card. I still can't seem to get to that second blue source, unfortunately. Do we drop down a 2-3 or a 1-3? I think I go ahead and drop down a 2-3. So worse, I can maybe try to filter through and see what I can do as far as finding that second blue source. My opponent, probably going to do something here. They're really keen on reading the Protege, and they're going to bring out the Wishful Merfolk. I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing. Okay, that's enough of a mermaid. Moving on here. As they have their 3-2 defender that can lose defender. We're going to go ahead and do some scry action. Keep it on the top. And I draw my island. Yes, do I draw my island? Sure as heck would like to draw an island. What you going to do, opponent? I still do not draw an island as I sit here with, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands. I would love to do the tutelage, but I'm thinking instead to do the Arcanist and the Strider and start going a little wider here. And I think I don't. I think I just do the tutelage at this point. I don't really have a threat big enough for me to want to do anything too wide. This might make the Protege a target. If that's the case, then that's the case. Still not an island, but at least I get something here where I can make some zombie tokens, which is nice. The 4/6 could be good, especially with some tap down. All of the kind of the flyer might be nice as well. So we're actually going to toss out the Arcanist. We're gonna go ahead and mill two. Where did they mill? Some monosaurs. Okay, let's go ahead and just throw out that zombie infestation. And we are going to go ahead and just pass the turn here. I don't have a ton that I would actually want to toss out. I could afford to toss out the Roast Rider. But I don't know what the second card would be that I would toss out at this point. If they draw extra swamps, I might start tossing those out and start making some zombie tokens at instant speed. But we'll have to find out where we want to go with that. And opponent. They draw their card. Throw down another swamp. They're having blue monosaurus problems as well, at least. So it at least it's not just me here. So that much is good. But opponent sitting there thinking. Looking at their mana. Still looking at their mana. Looking at their hand. What you're gonna do? They're gonna do a rousing read, which is not a bad idea on the Wishful Merfolk. Giving it flying. And they get to cycle through some cards. That's really not terrible. That's all. And you're going to discard their opponent. Pass the attackers. I think still has Defender at this point. Next turn it won't, but right now it does. So at least we have that going for me. Alright, I'll draw a card. They will go ahead and mill a couple there. Alright, and I guess I just pull out the Strider because I don't... Oh, or do I just draw a card and then discard? We'll do that. We'll draw a card and we'll discard a card now. Maybe I can grab my... Well, let's see, that only costs 2. Roast Rider's 3. I can pay all black for that. Yeah, I'll just pull out the Roast Rider. Strider of Woe. Keep my protege out. I can either draw a discard later. Opponent thinking about something. Okay. There we go. I'm going to get my white goat token. Get my goat on. And then we're just going to go ahead and pass the turn at this point. Right now I'm looking at the mill strategy. They still have 19 cards left in their deck. Only 22. Thankfully they've drawn a bit in addition to getting milled for 4, but let's see what they do here. 3 black, 4 black, 5 black, and a blue. And a colorless. This is going to be big. Maybe this way should have held me exclude 4. What do you have? I'm guessing a big Phyrexian flyer of some sort. No? Oh, no, okay. Maybe not. So what are they going to do here? They're going to throw out an Octo Prophet, which lets them scry 2. Well, let's go resolve that and see if they decide to keep on top. Because if they keep anything on top, then I'm going to make a mill either way, but at least I can make them mill it away. The 3/3 Octo Prophet. What do they decide to do? And opponent? 2 on the bottom. It's going to get scattered away anyway. Probably not a bad decision there. And now, are they going to move to attack? They're going to bring out a diseased vermin. They're going to make me discard a card, and that's fine, I guess. Let's go ahead and resolve that. No, we did not pay the extra black. I'm a little surprised by that. They're going to pass two attackers, go to the end of the turn, I'm assuming. No, they're going to attack with a 0-3. Can't attack with a merfolk. You've already captured blue, so they're going to go ahead and just scry one. Resolve that, see what they do with it. I guess I'm probably going to stash that in the bottom as well. And they do. Alright, my turn. Well, let's go ahead and just activate that ability. And there's my island. There we go. I got the island. Sweet. Let's go ahead and drop out that mummy. Make them draw. And, okay, now I feel like I'm in the driver's seat. Okay, and going on to my turn. Let's see, I draw. There's another island. Going to make them mill another couple there. Terrific. Go ahead and drop down that island. I can put out the Fairy Master of Time, which they're probably going to want to attack into. I could go ahead and do the Chimera now, which gives me a 3-4 blocker for their 4-3. The Invocation, of course, gives me some stuff. Kraken is a possibility. All of a sudden, my hand is full of possibilities, and I do not mind that. Not one bit. We're going to go ahead and, we're going to go ahead and just do the Master of Time. I'll draw this turn, I'll draw next turn, which should let Teferi last, which would be good. I go ahead and draw a Rise again. Do I have anything in my graveyard that I would want to bring back? And at this point, I do not. So I think I will let Rise again fall. Make my opponent mill 2. They're down to 13 cards. So that, I think, will be my strategy going out here. So let's go ahead and pass the turn and see what they decide to do. And opponent, going ahead and making that an attacker. That is perfectly kosher and fine by me, I do believe. And moving on to combat. I have no way of blocking it, which is a bummer, but I'll change next turn most likely. They're attacking with a few things. Got 3 at me, 4 at me. No, 3 at me. So we've got 3 coming to me, got 4 going there. We are going to go ahead and draw and discard. Give Teferi 5 loyalty. Okay, I draw the Ageless Insight, which I think is pretty darn nifty. And I also think I'm going to go ahead and... I want the Evocation that's going to help me with some blocking. The Insight combos really well with the Fairy. I'm going to go ahead and drop off the... I'm going to release the Kraken. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and mill 2 islands away from you. Those blue sources are really hurting my opponent here. We're going to pass the blockers now, and I'm going to go ahead and block the goat there. Go to damage, use my Woe Strider. Oh, Woe Strider, you let me sacrifice your stride for 1. Don't really need more islands at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and tuck that underneath there. And pass the damage, bring the Fairy down to 1 loyalty. There's the stand
defense
effect.
had an imperfection.
An imperfection in my defense. And opponent. Moving on to my turn. I am not throwing away my turn. I am not throwing away my turn. There's another island. Okay, gonna go ahead and drop down that other island. Let's see, I could drop the Insight, which would let me draw 2, which would make him mill 4. You know what? I think I like this. Go ahead and drop down that island. Or drop down the Insight, that is. That leaves me with the blue for that. For that, I feel pretty good about this. So I'm going to draw 2 cards. Go ahead and drop out of the swamp. That's going to mill them for 4. And they figured out what was going on. So that is game off of mill this time. I love that Aries Tutelage. So there you go. That is a look at Jumpstart here on MTG Arena. Not a very long Mishra Junior draft this time. Only was playing the 2 wins, and well, we got there in 2 games. Can't complain about that. If you like our content here on Magic Untapped, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon. Even $1 will help. Patreon.com/MagicUntapped. We are also on Twitter at twitter.com/magic_untapped. And of course, www.magicuntap.com. And please support the channel just by subscribing. Become a viewer. Comment on our videos. Tell us what you like. Tell us what we're doing wrong. Go ahead and just have fun with us. Thank you for watching this edition of Mishra's Genuine Draft on Magic Untapped. I am Barry White.